everyone. This is Lainey.
I'm Virginia.
And we are joined today by Kate White. Hi, Kate.
Hi. Yeah. And sí, hablo español.
Oui, oui.
Muy bien. So we are going to do a quick introduction, and then Kate, we thought we would ask you some questions very quickly about your new book, The Second Husband, which comes out in June.
Great.
Sounds good. So Kate White, former editor-in-chief of Cosmopolitan magazine, is the New York Times bestselling author of the standalone psychological thrillers, The Fiancé, Have You Seen Me, and The Secrets You Keep, among others, as well as 8 Bailey Wiggins mysteries. White is also the author of several popular career books for women, including I Shouldn't Be Telling You This, How to Ask for the Money, Snag the Promotion, and Create the Career You Deserve, and editor of the Anthony and Agatha Award nominated The Mystery Writers of America cookbook. Okay, so we got your fabulous intro done, and we want to jump right in. So tell us, Kate, what is this new book, The Second Husband, about?
The Second Husband is about a woman named Emma Hawke in her 30s, whose first husband was brutally murdered in what seemed to be a random street crime. And now, not all that too far down the road, she's remarried very happily, and the police show up reinvestigating the homicide of her first husband, and she's clearly a suspect. So the book's really about what happens to her, what happens to her marriage, and what happens when certain secrets from her past come calling again.
Very intriguing. So, Kate, I have a question for you. Which came first, the crime or the character?
That's interesting, Virginia, because generally for me, I would say kind of the crime often happens first, but in this case, they both sort of collided together. I wanted to do a story about a dead first husband, but I needed the character to have moved on mentally but also be dealing with some issues from the past. So they both sort of happened at the same time.
That's interesting too.
Yeah.
That's usually one question. It's usually one or the other. So that's very interesting that they sort of blended together.
Yeah. That was the first for me. It had never happened that way.
Wow. We've had that conversation with other authors, and it's usually definitive, like, no, I knew about this story. The story was in my head, and then in came the characters. So I love that. Yep.
Yeah, I love that. So, Kate, describe your main character in 5 words. Be however you want to interpret that.
Well, she's smart. She's ambitious. She's very curious because she's a trend forecaster. So she's looking at things that are emerging out there and what might be important. She's guilty of a need to please, which goes through the book somewhat, but in the end, ultimately, I would say she's determined to break out of that need to please and seize the day for herself.
I love that.
Mm-hmm. Now, Kate, this is just a juicy page turner. What do you say makes this the perfect summer read?
I think it's a good summer read, a good beach read, because it starts with a slow burn, which I always love when I'm on a beach blanket, where it's not like boom in your face, but something's pulling you along. You know something's going on, but you're not quite sure what, but you want to keep going. Then all of a sudden things accelerate, twists happen, and you know that you just got to keep going to figure it out. And in this book, you really don't know all the answers to the very final pages.
Juicy. Yeah.
Love when that happens.
I want to be on a beach reading it right now.
Thank you, Lane.
So this is kind of a fun question. What's your ritual of choice? So while you're writing, do you have a song or a drink in hand or a paper you write on?
For me, there always has to be a cup of tea, constantly going. A scented candle. I got that idea from the fabulous Lisa Gardner. She mentioned she did it, and I thought maybe that would make the desk more seductive for me. It would make me want to get my butt in the chair if there was a scented candle. I usually have some very light music, maybe some meditation music or opera that I've listened to so many times. It's like kind of like white noise. And I like a pretty flat, clear surface with not too much visual noise.
I love that. And so the follow-up question is, what kind of scent? Is it floral? Is it what kind of scent?
Oh, never floral.
Never
Lainey,
floral.
never, ever
Okay.
floral. It's
Right.
got to be sort of woodsy, fig or cypress or something, eucalyptus, something that reminds me of a place that's very exotic.
I love that. Yeah.
Like Peru, for instance, with llamas around.
You're so cute. Ow, bit me.
Yeah. Peru.
Well, thank you so much, Kate, and everyone. Get a copy or a galley on Edelweiss or NetGalley and read The Second Husband. It comes out on June 28th.
And there's a library edition, a library hardcover edition, which is wonderful because we know those books will be circulating over and over again. So yay for library hardcover editions. We love them. And
yay for librarians for buying those library editions. My mom was a librarian, so that means so much to me.
Well, that's wonderful to know. And it's really interesting to when we talk to authors, certain authors whose mothers worked in libraries, and you can really see that ripple effect down to their children. So
yeah, because not only as a nerd did I spend so much time alone in libraries as a kid, but I would go to help my mom set up the displays in the library. And I fell in love with libraries, that's for sure, before boys.
That's a bumper sticker.
I love that.
Well, librarians fallen in love with you too, Kate, over the years.
Oh, thank you, Virginia. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, take care, everyone. And Kate White, 5 questions. This was fabulous. Can't wait to have everyone read the book and tell us what you think. We know that you're going to love it, as you've loved all of her other books. The Second Husband, as Lainey said, out June 28th. How well do you really know somebody? Read The Second Husband. I'll make you think.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Bye, Kate.